You're watching Tech Talk in affiliation with Tech for Techs. We're a community that supports independent trade with the help of vendors and distributors. We're live every Thursday at 8 p.m. London time, and we'll be streaming to Facebook and YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon, Google, TuneIn, and many more. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, and your host, Philip Griffiths.
Hello everyone and welcome to Tech for Tech's Tech Talk. In this episode we're going to be talking about your business perception, so basically how people see your business or even how you see your business. And we've got some great people in today to actually help us with the show. So we've got Cormac, as you probably know him, he's the King of Ireland. We've also got Peter, and we've got a newcomer as well called Nicole, who's will tell you about herself in a few minutes. Now, if you can see the show and you can hear us, please comment in the comment section. Even tell us what your business name is and who you are, and that way we'll give you a shout out and so forth. This is a live show, so obviously when you comment, we'll be able to comment back to you, obviously verbally or in text if needs be. If you are, for any reason, in the Tech for Tech Facebook group, if you can click on the link I'm going to paste in there now, this will allow your name to be seen in the chat. Again, if a few people would like to comment, just to let us know that you can actually see us, and I can see a few of you are watching us, but it'd be nice to have some of you actually comment and just make sure we aren't just talking to ourselves. Right, okay, so first of all, let's move over to Cormac. So, Cormac, if you would like to let everyone know who you are, what you do, and basically, if you've got any tips or advice or stories for us this week.
Hello, everyone. Good evening from Ireland. Sure, you know me now at this stage. I'm Cormac from Crosshaven Computers. Actually, do you know something? My tip this week is nearly the same tip that I said a few weeks ago. Facebook marketing has to be all in on it. This week I got a we're busy week, but got a good few new customers, and it all came from Facebook, you know. And I was having a cup of coffee with someone today in a different business, and we got into the discussion, and she was saying Facebook just doesn't work, and I was saying it does work. It's impossible for it actually not to work if done in any reasonable way. But I think where people fail to believe that Facebook works is that we'll just say they put up a sale of a computer, okay, computer for sale, okay, and they advertise it around and no one comes to buy it, whatever they say. Well, that's a failed marketing. It's not. If you do Facebook marketing right, if you do it for awareness, just for awareness, to get your name out there, that's all you do. Like if anyone that goes into the bank, they're staring at the phone, or on Instagram or on Facebook, they're looking at you know, that's what they're looking at. So like if you spread it in a 20-mile radius and just keep, like my customers who I got this week, I did not get from one campaign. I got it from advertising last year. It wasn't a special on broken computers. Most people won't come to you unless their computer is broken. So they're hardly going to say Facebook and kind of go, oh, let's go, and, you know. But when the time comes, they will remember your ad. Or if you get well enough known around the area, as soon as they Google, they'll go on to Google, they'll see the list of businesses, but they'll remember your name. So that was my take with my person who we were having a cup of coffee with today. I would say she was just looking at me kind of going, will he shut up about Facebook in the end? But up to that point, Facebook marketing works.
Yeah, you want to be that person, as soon as they think of computer, either repair or new or anything along that lines, they think of your name first. So getting that marketing out there does help. So that's always some good advice there. I was about to go and say to Peter now, but for some reason he's just disappeared.
He went right to the Facebook marketing. I inspired him. He just ran to the marketing. Just went. Good best luck, Peter.
That's fine. So we're going to have to go on to you, Nicole, next. So I'm going to push you forward first. So if you'd like to introduce yourself, tell everyone who you are, what you do, even tell them about your YouTube channel and all your different bits and bobs, as well as any tips, advice, or story you've got for us this week.
Okay, hey everybody. So I am Nicole. I am coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia in the United States. And I am the CEO of Cellbotics, which is kind of a one-of-a-kind training center here in the United States. We actually teach beginners who are opening cell phone and computer repair businesses. And we have in-person courses, but we also have online courses. And so we can reach you too. So my tips would be, I have two, I hope that's okay. The first one would be to get on LinkedIn. Now, do you guys have LinkedIn is UK, right?
Yeah,
I get a lot of clients. Okay, I meet a lot of people internationally, so I'm like, but this is where I get our commercial accounts from. And so we actually have commercial accounts where we get hundreds of devices, computers, and phones from local businesses, large and small, to do repairs. And we can make much more money because the volume's higher. And I get most of that through LinkedIn. So a lot of people think LinkedIn is boring, but it really is a very hip place. And you can make yourself really well known on LinkedIn and get some really amazing clients. Second would be tools. So I have a video on my YouTube channel, which is Cellbotics, and it gives you 10 tools that every technician needs to have. And one of those is an amp meter. It is like a lifesaver for me. It's like a little tiny box, and it helps me see what's wrong with the phone just by plugging it in really quickly. So that would be my two tips. And you guys can find me all over the place. If you just go to LinkedIn, you can search up Cellbotics or Nicole Russell Cellbotics. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube. We have two platforms. So cellbotics.com is primarily just as everything. Like you can find links for everything. We have coaching, consulting, online courses, but then we also have some free stuff like on cellboticsonline.com, which has our online courses, and we have a lot of free content that you can download, forums, and all kinds of really cool stuff.
Pretty good. I'm just going to put you a link up there so people can see your YouTube channel. So,
thank you. Hi, Allison.
There we go. So let's have a look. So there we go. And I think that's right. There we go. And go.
Thank you.
There we go. So that's I'm hoping that's your YouTube channel. If it's not, someone's going to get some visitors.
I watched Nicole's 10 tips on tools last night. Actually, it was very good. Well worth taking a look over at the YouTube channel. All right,
Thank you.
I'm going to say there's definitely some bits on there. So if you are getting into obviously phone repairs, tablets or anything, or even if you're doing computer repairs and you're wanting to start doing that sort of thing, definitely some good stuff to have a look at. And obviously you could always go a little bit further with them if you needed training and so forth as well. And also I agree with the LinkedIn. You can get a hell of a lot of people on LinkedIn. So we do a lot of our tech for tech advertising or I say advertising connections on LinkedIn is probably the best way of putting it. So when we get talking to vendors, distributors, and getting them to join in with different things, it's usually there where I'm talking to them. It's generally a good place to get those business related people. You won't see many pictures of like what people have had for the dinner and stuff like that,
right.
And not as many. You do now and again holiday snaps, but not too many. It's usually more business related, so that's usually
and just putting yourself out there, like really be different, put videos up, and you'll stick out so much. People just can't help but follow you and gravitate to you. So it's really, really easy to dominate that space. Yeah,
it can be, especially if you manage to get the live platform working over there as well, like we are, because there's not many people who do go live over there at the moment.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so let's just go quickly through comments before we go back to Peter. Now he's got his camera done. So, hi, Mark Dennis. He says, evening all. You've also got Alison Cook saying, hi, guys. EADR in Norfolk, that's East Anglian Data Recovery, if you don't know. Hope you all had a great week. I have, Alison, thank you very much. Hope you're doing well as well. And Richard Creedy, I always look at his business name. It's Great Computer Services, so GRE Computer Services. I always like that name, to be honest, for a computer place. So if I was opening a new store, I might have to steal that from him. But there we go. Right, so let's have a look. So we've got Richard saying, evening all. It's Richard and Hayley from Phase 4 Computers in Harrogate. And we've also got Mark Dennis as well. Let's have a look. We do a bit of Facebook marketing, seems to work really well. And that's from Rayleigh Computer Shop. Excuse me. Obviously, that's in response to Cormac's information about Facebook. We'll have to do a show about Facebook marketing at some point, Cormac. Maybe even get someone on who's good at actually making adverts and show everyone how actually to do it. Maybe do a live show exactly how to do it. So something to think about.
Yeah.
Alison's also saying hi to Nicole as well. She doesn't say hi to me. Oh, I don't know. Yeah. So
Alison is the Queen of England there, Nicole. We all love Alison in the group, so that's
awesome.
for a shout out for. So that's
I'm honored.
For her.
There we go. And Richard's saying he has LinkedIn but don't use it anywhere nearly enough. Yeah, I'm going to say if you want in business clients, it might be something to look into. It might take you a bit to get established and seen or whatever, but like anything, you've got to put the work into receive any rewards. But if you're definitely looking at business customers, it might be something to definitely look into. Even if you're just wanting to get in contact with vendors and distributors, a lot of them do actually work on there, as in like the marketing managers and stuff like that. So if you're needing point sales material, you might be able to hunt someone down. It is a good place to find people. Right. Okay. So let's go over to Peter. So Peter, let us know who you are, what you do, and where you work, and any tips, stories for today.
Evening, I'm Peter from ScanStation Computers. We're an independent retailer and managed service provider on the south coast, just near Bognor Regis. My tip of the week, I'll go for the obvious one. Microsoft are launching Windows 11 on the 5th of October now. Whatever your personal feelings are about a new operating system launch, it's definitely a big opportunity for new PC sales. So that's setup services, data transfers. You will have customers that will want to get that new operating system. They'll either want it on a new custom-built PC or a new laptop. You definitely want to take advantage of that. Don't let those customers get scooped up by your PC Worlds, your Amazons. You can definitely add value there, and you can definitely get setup services and labor on that. So don't ignore it. Get marketing now. Gear up for it. Support services. There's definitely money to be made there for sure.
Yeah, that's a definite one there. That was actually one of my tips, so I'll let you off a pinch in that one. But yeah, marketing, customer advice, even guides of how to use it and stuff like that. A lot of people give out free guides in your store, gets people to come in and so forth. And you can even charge to do a safe upgrade for customers. We did that for Windows 10. So what we did is back up all the customers' data first before we actually did the upgrade, and then put it back on the machine. Obviously, if it needed a full reinstall or whatever, obviously an upgrade shouldn't need. But as you know, Windows, it can be buggy, and sometimes doing these upgrades can, cause issues, especially when the users usually turn the machine off halfway through it doing the update or something like that. Right, so my next tip would be basically the price for the new series of processors. There are rumors that the new i9 12900K, so that's an Intel chip if you didn't know, will be around 650 UK pounds. In comparison, the last generation, the 11900K, can be picked up for around about £500, so that would be a 23% markup on the last generation if rumours are correct. So be prepared that if you want in the latest tech, or your customers, they're going to have to pay another 20% on top of the next 200% what they're having to pay for an extra or a graphics card at the moment, and then any other extras they're going to have to pay on top for, I don't know, probably something else right down the road. RAM will probably go up sky high and so forth as well. So just bear in mind, processors going forward maybe going up. So if you do like the last generation, it might be a time to stock up on the few just in case. Right, let's go on to the main topic then. So the main topic is basically your business's perception, so how people perceive you or your business. Obviously, this goes for if you're a sole trader, if you just work at home, if you've got a retail, repair store, really anyone, to be honest with you. So obviously take all the things what I said with a pinch of salt. That can all be obviously altered depending on what you do. For example, if it's a dirty business, you could say a dirty vehicle and so forth. So, right, what I'm going to do first is go to Cormac. So, Cormac, tell us a bit about business or perception and how you think it should be and how people should perceive you and why.
Actually, just looking at the split screen there, and seeing the four people besides you, Phil, we're all wearing work shirts there. I don't know, Nicole, I don't know what time it is there in Atlanta. Atlantic world, wherever you live in that world. What time of day is it there?
It's 3 p.m.
Yeah, well, it's after hours there, but it's interesting. Like, and actually, funny, we're all kind of in the same shirt. Actually, you look like you're our boss, myself and Peter's boss there or something. But Phil, you're the host, so you don't have to. But it's weird that the perception that we wanted to give out when we came on this show was pure professionalism, in the sense that, and it's interesting. I was reading. I didn't know this until I'm kind of 3-4 years full time now, and for the first 2 or 3 years, all I wore really was my work shirt. And I read in a book afterwards. There was a guy who done a business, and he was the first couple of years, all he used to do was wear his work shirt because it's advertising wherever you went, you know. And after, I say last year sometime, I actually went to my cupboard and I went for I went to my cupboard. I have to buy some different clothes. Now, obviously, I had some, but literally, I would wear the shirt first thing in the morning till anywhere I was going, because if you're in a supermarket, people would see your shirt, see this. It was advertising everywhere you went, you know. Right. And my perception, or the interesting question here is about perception. First of all, perception has changed a little for me, in the sense that while I was growing and getting bigger and bigger, you're trying to portray yourself really big. Now, since COVID has hit, I'm trying to persuade myself, or whatever, I'm lost words there, as local, small, local, because that's the selling point. Now it's local. And I'm going to do a campaign there more on selling stuff there later, and I'm going to be in every single one of my pictures, because every one of my posts, I'm going to be standing there, or one of the people working with me is going to be standing there, or something. Someone's going to be standing there anyway to show that we're a local business. That's what we're doing, you know. Now, in my converted area in my house here now, we have two full offices, just the same as you walk into any office. We have discussed that I didn't want to. I don't have a shop. Didn't want to shop. Mountain businesses a lot. But my perception for my customers when they come in, is that I wanted a different experience than just another local shop where you just hand in your computer to a guy in some weird not shirt stuff. I wanted the perception that you're coming down to this place, it's pure professional. Most things inside there is white. You sit down at the desk. Neve will sit you down, and you sit across the way, the same way, I don't know, if you're back in the days, you meet the bank manager or something. You sit down at the desk, you sit down, you get 5 minutes of the time, 10 minutes of time, talking through the problems, this and that, gives us the time to upsell. But you're coming to a very professional place, okay? And every bit of it is professional when you come in. And you're going to be paying slightly higher rates, but you're getting a very professional service, okay? And we talk them right through. Until even handing the computer back, we obviously have it all cleaned, but we have it in a cardboard box, because we put it in a box with a label on the front, okay? Wrapped up in bubble wrap, with a thank you for shopping local, little business card, but it's not business, just a thank you for supporting local. We got a graphic designer to do that. 2 little packets of sweets, okay? So if the person who came down for the experience, okay, they sat down, we went, thank you, hi, and Neve is just unbelievable, chatting to customers, unbelievable. If you think I can talk, she's just, but when they come back, and if they're paying €100, they're not just paying €100, and they're not just getting back a computer in a bag. They're getting a box, and we all love getting presents. It's like they're getting a present to themselves. They get the box, they bring it home, they open it up, and lo and behold, there's a thank you card and a sweets. Get it actually more thanks about the sweets than anything. And that's it. That's the full experience. Now, the experience of us going on site to businesses, a customer rang me up the last time and said, will I come to our business? I said, yes, I shall come to the business for our meeting to see if this will suit us and you. In the sense that we are premium. We're not coming to we'll pull up, yes, we want this job. No, this job mightn't suit us. We'll see. And we'll only work with you if it will suit us both, and we will help your business grow. And you are not getting a repair person, you're getting a consultant. You are getting a highly trained consultant. That's what you're getting. We are not, and no disrespect to any trades people out there, which they probably earning more money than us, but we are professional to the T. And that's who we deal with. And I kind of make a note, if I'm going to a meeting, I kind of let them know that I'll only talk to the person who is paying the bills, basically. I don't really want to talk to their 20-year-old staff member. Thank you, they can talk to somebody else. I'll talk to bill payer. If you can't be there, don't worry. You can come to my office and meet me and we can talk to you. So that's my perception, is that I just want to put it out that we're exclusive, but local. God, we're local. We could hug you, we're so local. We're just so local and friendly, but we are professional to the last. If any of that makes sense to you, as you can tell, I'm quite passionate. I really am quite passionate about this. And even Phil in the group over the years has helped and said, raise your prices. You look better when you raise your prices. And that's what we are. We're different. I don't want to be the same in this business from what all you have to do to achieve. In any business at the moment, all you have to do to achieve is be 10% better or 20% better than competitors. Because the majority of businesses out there are useless. And I'm not talking about computer repair business. I'm talking about every business you go into. You know,
Right.
and that's why I gave, and I'll stop talking now. And that's why I gave the hard drive company, what's the name of them again? I can't pronounce it. Oracle today, such a shout.
Yeah.
I ordered 20 of the wrong hard drives. I held my hands up. I rang them up and I said, look, I ordered the wrong ones, and they agreed to ship new ones out before they got the old ones back. I turned around to my tech and I went, we will be buying off them for a long time. And he said, but sure, you're a good buyer off them. They only done what they should have. And I said, the majority of businesses won't even do what they should do. So that's my point, if you get my meaning. So there's my passionate defense of local business.
Yeah, I must admit, obviously how you're perceived is in the way you look. Definitely, that's one of them. Have logos on your shirts, have logos on everything. That's fine.
Yeah, I would add to that too. If you're local, what we tell our students to do, which is really makes them, I mean, it's really successful and it's easy to do. On your shirts, on the back, get something, or even in the front, that says "Stop me" and ask me how to fix your device, especially during COVID. Even though you have a logo, sometimes people are wondering, like, did they pick this up at a thrift? Or, you know, is this actually their business? Are they on their own time? Can I ask them about this? You know, maybe they've got a broken phone or a computer at home and they know they need IT services, but they don't know that they can talk to you. And so having that on your shirt is like, oh my God, it's so helpful. Everywhere you go, people will just randomly stop you in public, if you want that, and ask you to fix their devices.
That's pretty good there. It's actually partly what I was going to say is make sure when you have got something like a shirt on, is people understand what the logo represents as well if you are going to advertise yourself, because there's a lot of people, let's just say your company's called Spire Repairs or something like that, you repair computers and stuff, but if it just says Spire Repairs on your shirt, does that mean you repair spires on churches? Does it mean you repair washing machines? The amount of times I see vans driving around and they say the name of the company, but it doesn't actually say what they actually do. So make sure it's clear what your business does on the shirt. So if you have got a logo, make sure you say just underneath it or on the back what you do. Personally, I don't actually wear branded shirts. I do have it on my bag and other devices and stuff, but I do go dressed smart. So I'll always wear a shirt similar to this, and trousers and shoes rather than trainers. So always look smart. One thing I would suggest though is, and this goes for anyone, no matter how they're dressed, especially in this sort of trade and any trade really, is make sure you go in with clean clothes, so no tomato ketchup stains, no mustard down the front, anything like that. I see it all the time. You go in stores, looks like they haven't changed the shirt in a week, looks like they've been wearing it a long time, or they've even had the shirt for 10 years and it's all faded and so forth. That can look as bad as just wearing a plain t-shirt. So, but I do agree that is definitely some good points there, Cormac. You definitely, a lot of people should take some advice from you on that one. So I think you could take up a whole show just showing how passionate you are about this on your own, to be honest with you. Right, let's move over to Peter. What's your views on either this and any other parts of this topic?
So I think that presenting yourself well in your business well helps build trust with the customer. And when you've got that trust, that helps the customer to spend more with you. You're a lot more likely to sell a higher end PC or more services if you look like a professional company. You don't look like a fly-by-night company. So we've got a fairly well-stocked shop, and we always get comments from people coming in saying, wow, you have a lot of stuff in here. They think we're going to be around for a long time. You know, they don't think we're going to sell them a PC and disappear overnight. we have shirts or polo shirts, sweaters branded. All our staff look similar. Whether we go out on site, you can always tell us from our vans or our attire. And that all does help to build trust, and I think we get more business customers from that, and we sell more higher end products from that as well. £1,500, £2,000 laptops, it's not a problem. If you just look like a bare bones counter that you might not be there next week, you're less likely to get that sale. People won't hand their money over as freely as if you're a big box store.
Yeah, definitely some good points there. I must agree. Just going quickly through chat, Alison says, always have your business cards on you. That's always a must. Business cards, or something I like to do rather than, as well as business cards, is stickers, especially when on site. We stick stickers on people's machines, keyboards, under the keyboard, and stuff like that, because it's easy to lose a business card or not know where it is. But if your sticker's on the side of someone's computer or underneath it, under the keyboard, they don't have to look far for your number. So yeah, the business cards, definitely. We've got Brian at Digital Promo saying good evening. Hi, Brian. Let's have a look. Richard Creedy saying wait a month or two and prices of processors will drop. I hope you're right, Richard. Unfortunately, they're saying the manufacturing fabs are basically putting their prices up though by 20%. I think it's in November or December, so it may actually go the other way, unfortunately. But we'll see. Richard Forth is saying if it's not buggy, it's featured packed. I'm not sure what that was in response to. Probably another comment, but
Windows 11, I think.
Right, that's it. Yeah, Windows 11. That'll be it. So that'll be an interesting time. Always interesting when a new version of Windows comes out. Right, let's go on to Nicole then. So you're our noob of the day, I think. So. Let us know your views. I know you've already had a few already, but how do you perceive this conversation, and what would you like to add?
So I think it's just important to remember that the perception that the customer has of you starts from the moment they find you. So if they're finding you online, it's really important to look up what you look like when they're searching for your service. And you shouldn't do it from a device that you log in to all your business accounts on. You should have maybe a friend's phone or family member's phone. Look up, how you think they would find you by those keywords. And then how do you actually show up? If you're mobile, I definitely like to keep the term mobile service provider as the way I create the business. So when I'm working with mobile technicians, if you just think of that professional statement, if you are to hire Terminex, right, you would expect them to be mobile and you don't devalue them. I see a lot of mobile technicians, well, at least here, they look at themselves as they're cheaper because they don't have a space, right? And in reality, they actually have more expenses in some cases because they're driving around. So to that one repair, they actually will lose more money, but it's their perception of their business. And then the way the customer finds them. So that they show up as just some guy doing repairs or some girl doing repairs out of their car. And that really, really devalues them. And that's why they get negotiated with all the time. It's something that I hear over and over and over again. So it's remembering that perception isn't just when they're in front of you. It's like from the moment they find you. So making sure that your appearance online is, 100% the way you want to be, perceived across the board is probably something that I think people don't worry about enough. And then when they come in person, it's just, is your space clean? You want to have stuff, but you want it to be stuff that look like it's being sold. It's not cool to walk into a store and see things with dust all over it hanging on the walls and it's not being sold. It's just there. Like you want to make sure whatever product that you have front facing to the customer is selling product, that it's not sitting and just catching dust and there for looks, like you don't have a rack of cases that are not being sold and they're just sitting there, right? Take it out, put something else, put product that actually sells, and make sure that your area is well lit, make sure that you have good lighting in your area. So those are just some things. I mean, I probably could go on for hours about this topic.
Yeah, I think a lot of us could. I must agree, though, on the cleaning stuff. I remember a place I worked for, must be around about 2003 before I set up on my own. And they used to have a computer in the window. And the manager of the place, didn't want to move it. It was a showpiece. The problem is it had like a built-in fish tank on the side of the actual case. It was like a novelty thing, weren't real fish. It was just plastic ones going around with like bubbles. But it'd been in that window that long, it was absolutely full of algae. Well, algae, depending on how you want to pronounce it. So it looked that bad, and the fish were all stuck to the side and everything. But he just didn't want it moving. It was like this, that. Yeah, but it looks really cool having fish in. I was like, yeah, it doesn't really promote the business too well. Probably do better if you're a pet shop or something like that. But it was a good novelty thing, apart from when all the algae obviously grew in there and made it look a mess. But yeah, definitely the way you look and how clean you are, definitely I must agree with that. Let's have a look. We've got
I just have a question there for Peter and Nicole and Phil. Just throwing it out there for discussion for people listening more so than anything else. What's your views on, some shops go for the cheap, as in cheap, and we do quantity rather than maybe, more exclusive? What's your views on those sort of shops? Or maybe they make loads of money? I don't know. I'm only throwing it out for discussion.
It really, for me, depends the area. It depends the area. So here in the States, some areas are really saturated, and so they have to compete, and they have to come up with some creative ways, and sometimes it's offering cheaper things, and they have to cut, and the customer's happy with that. But what I find is competing with price is not the best way. Actually, I would match my highest competitor, or maybe even be a little higher, and then let the way that we show up and the appearance and how they're treated when they show up and the repairs that we do, and just, from A to Z, all of that speak for our pricing and make us different. I do not price compete, and I do not teach my students to price compete. I teach them to raise the bar, and because somebody's always going to devalue you if you're cheaper, but some people will just pay for things that are more expensive just because they think it's better. Like they'll look for products even that are more expensive, just thinking, well, it's higher, it must be better,
Yeah, good point there. It's you want to say something, Peter?
Yeah, that's spot on. I mean, that's a race to the bottom, really. You don't want to be competing on price. A customer you win on price, as a customer you'll lose on price next week when they find somewhere else cheaper. And you're also then trying to put yourself in competition with the online retailers as well. You try and compete with the likes of Amazon. Again, you're on a hiding to nothing. So you really want to compete, as Nicole said, on service rather than trying to be the cheapest, because you won't ever win doing that. Certainly not these days.
Yeah, totally agree with all that. The way I look at it is a lot of people think cheap and value are the same thing, but they're not. So if you are offering lower priced items, make sure they're a good value. We tend to stay away from so-called cheap items in our store. And when we're selling stuff, we try and sell it as part of a service. So even though the prices may be a little bit more expensive than other places, in some cases quite a bit more expensive, you get the extra benefit of us, not only our knowledge, but we'll come around and set it up. So we try and sell a service with everything we sell. So even if it's from the likes of a memory stick, we'll try and sell the person, we'll back up all your data for you, or something like that. To obviously security, will give you a service as well. We'll chuck a service in for this sort of price and so forth. So we try and sell things as a service rather than just try and compete. If you want to compete with Amazon or eBay or whatever, you're just not going to do it, even though probably half of the stuff on Amazon and eBay is probably fake or whatever, or cracked copies. You're just not going to compete with it. And we did the wrong thing when we opened our store. To begin with, we were a call-out service only. Our prices were probably on par with everyone else, and we're talking, 16, 17 years ago now. But when we actually opened the store, we thought, right, we've got a store. It was just going to be a repair store more than an actual retail store, just to get stuff in. And we decided to just go, right, just to let everyone know we're here and get everyone in, we put our prices too low. and that invited the wrong type of customer. The customers, as you said, the customers who come in and they just want the cheapest. Doesn't matter if you did a brilliant job, did 10 times better than anyone else. If they find someone next week or next year or whenever they need the same thing doing again and it's cheaper, they'll go to them. They have no brand loyalty or anything like that. They just want the cheapest stuff, and they're the ones what will talk you down on your price. They'll want it at half the price or whatever all the time, complaining. So yeah, totally agree with that. And I must admit, well, since we put our prices up, we are now, I would say, not far off the highest in the area, maybe a little just below the highest. We get a hell of a lot better quality customer. Not that there was anything wrong with the other customers and per se personal reasons, but you're not having to compete on price. They know that you're offering basically a service or an item for the price it should be. So
what I found as well, the points you brought up are brilliant, and I'm learning an awful lot from you, so thanks very much. But where I'm marketing, when I'm going in now talking to the bosses on sites or clients, where I'm marketing at the moment is that we're selling you time. Like, if you go in, you're the boss of an organization, we'll come in, we'll do everything for you. Your staff won't have to ring you with IT problems. We'll take care of it all, and we'll do it. Because if someone came in to me today, now I had to ring an insurance company that was going to take an hour. I was trying to switch my broadband. I was trying to switch these. I would have paid extra for any one of those services which didn't take an hour for me on the phone. I would have paid anything. I would have paid extra. I would have paid extra a month on every single one of those services if I didn't have to. Every time I go to the phone, be on a call tree and wait for an hour for them. Like, I just knew I had to clear time today because I needed to. 3 hours for me, or 3 hours for the last 2 days I've been on trying to do stuff like this. Okay, 3 hours during the day. That's 3 hours at whatever rate we'll say. I was paying myself an hour. That's a simple thing to be able to sell our services for, where time.
That's pretty good advice there, to be honest with you. Let's just have a look at chat anymore. Now, guys in chat who are watching, if you've got any obviously comments or anything you want to add to this conversation, please do. Obviously, if you want to ask Nicole anything about training, please do. If you want to ask Cormac anything about how do you become a successor of being the King of Ireland, feel free. If you want to ask Peter anything about his stuff, feel free. So we've just got something coming in from Alison. So let's have a look. People will also buy on how something makes them feel. Peace of mind, freeing them up time and so forth. Yeah, just a bit like Cormac said there, Alison. So with the time, sometimes you'd pay more if you got a better service. I must admit, I do agree with that one. So one of the things I also find that helps is being proactive rather than reactive as well. So obviously letting customers know of potential issues before they have them. For example, Windows 11 coming out, let them know the issues they may have, upgrading, tell them maybe how to do it even, but make sure you spell it out if you have any problems. Please come to us, and we're not responsible if you do have any issues doing it. But I always find that we get a lot of responses from customers where we send them out emails every month just to let them know the latest news, advice even. And I would say most of our posts and emails we do send out, 80% of the content is not selling. It's more advice and help to the customers. And they actually remember you for that. They'll go, oh, that's the guy who helped me how to change my desktop background. Maybe simple to us, but not to everyone else. And they remember that. So make sure you're sort of more proactive. So that basically means you're finding the issues first. Obviously, if you're doing any form of RMM software or anything and you're monitoring businesses, obviously you'll be able to check things like that. But it's not just about monitoring computers, it's sort of advising people about what's changing and how it could affect them, and that if people don't want to upgrade to Windows 11, they don't have to. They've got till 2025 to carry on using their current computer with Windows 10 with no problem. So things about being proactive actually do help, and it also helps your image of your business because you're giving free advice. Okay, it looks like you're not grabbing all the time. Right, anyone else got anything they would like to add in?
Yeah, I want to say for the information that you're talking about, we've had a lot of success with our students going live every day on their business page for locals and just giving out daily tips just a real quick live. And Cormac, you were talking about putting your face out there more and being local. Really, I mean, I have one student that's done so well with this, and he's in a very small town in the US here, and he has 3 locations, and he did so well at spreading his name that they actually like made him a DJ on a radio station and paid him. They had him interview like local politicians because he was just so well known with his daily little 5-minute live. He would come up with tips or, hey, this app, this is how you use this is how you install this, and people just fell in love with him, and he's really doing great.
Yeah, that's pretty good, to be honest with you. Cormac does, I don't know, Nicole, if you've ever seen any of Cormac's stuff, but he goes way out there in pushing some of his social media stuff.
I love it. I'm going to check it out.
So, yeah, definitely. I'll let Cormac give you his address, or you can find him in the group anyway. You should be able to find him in there. But, yeah, he definitely has some unique ways. Let's put it that way. So... I've not seen anything like it. So to be honest, I'd find a lot of that embarrassing, but it gets you known. Again,
it does. It works. No, it's all back to building the brand again. But you know what? You were talking about LinkedIn there at the start, and I don't do much LinkedIn. And I'm wondering, I might look at doing that approach on LinkedIn as well and just going, hey, let's go for it, you know? As in, you know, what you do find about corporate world is that everyone wants to have a laugh in corporate world as well. You know, they do. We have this perception that, like, I'm very human when I go and dealing with all the people, and you know, people are bored senseless at times. You know, so it's easy to create a bit of a stir in a nice way there. You know,
right.
It is. Nicole, sorry, what training do you do there exactly? Is it just how to run shops, or is it
We have staff training, sales training. We have all types of stuff online.
Why staff training there?
Staff training is, so basically it's an online platform. It's for people, it's for shop owners who hire new employees, and they can just sit them down and have them take this course, and it's going to give them like a core foundation. So say if you hire, so we recommend here, at least, shop owners hire people who have really good customer service skills. That's maybe worked for like a Chick-fil-A or a Publix or something, really somebody really with good high standards of customer service, and then teach them the small repair things that they want them to know. And so we have this repair training course where they can just put them online and sit them down and get the training. But the in-person is primarily for business owners that are opening physical locations, and they need the business training and the hardware repair training.
And Peter, and we might have to do a show about this, and we will do a show. So just probably give us a second. How do you train your staff then? Sorry, no, we're going to get a little bit off.
Yeah, my staff, we have videos. We use procedure manuals. We have, for internal training. Yeah, so we use the same thing that we sell. We use the same thing, and we also have internal training manuals, and then we have really unique ways that we uplift our staff. And so basically, like, one thing I do after I've decided to hire someone, before we bring them in for the first day, I actually have a little form that I go over with them, or my managers, but basically finds out the pain points in their life and what their personal goals are outside of their job. And this is because we want to keep and retain our staff. So we have about 20 employees, and we want to retain those amazing people that we invest so much time in. And to do that, I want them to feel like we care about them. And so that creates loyalty. And so once a month, I'll have a manager or someone, or myself, if I have time, do like a little 10-15 minute one-on-one with them. We'll just bring them in and say, hey, a few months, every month we do this, but hey, one of your goals was, like, for example, one of my employees wants to own a t-shirt printing company, and he was trying to go about it all the wrong way. Like, he was trying to buy shirts from China and then buy a printing machine for his house. And it's like crazy. And I was like, look, there's a place called Teespring. Like, you can set up your brands there. This is how you can copyright your designs. And he was like, he loves us so much because we've been there for him. I have another one that makes websites. So, we were like, hey, we'll make up a website design package and we'll let you pitch it to the students that come through. They all need websites anyways. And so we just support their dreams. Like, I had one employee has like 5 children, and her husband, she could not get to work on time. And I was like, what's going on? And she said, well, one of our cars has 2 flat tires, so I can't drive it. So my husband's having to take me and take him, and we don't know what to do. And I was like, wow, this is, she was in tears over 2 tires. It's $60, I was like, here's the $60, go get your tires fixed. And it made her cry. That's how impactful it was on her life. And she loves me to death. I mean, she's not going anywhere. She loves this company, you know? So it's like just those real little things, and caring about them makes them care about you, and you retain those staff. Mm-hmm.
I think that answers your question, Cormac.
Yeah.
I could go on for days about that.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, but that's pretty good, to be honest with you, I must admit. And sometimes it's just those little things what do really count, and even on with customers as well as not only just your staff. One thing I'd like to mention, and I say this all the time, and people always get it wrong and so forth, and is consistency for your brand or what you do, whether it's procedures, whether it's marketing, how you repair something. You need to be consistent in the way you do it. There's no point repairing something one time for the same customer and you give them a free clean of the laptop, give them some sweets, for example, like Cormac does, and stick it in a box. And then the next time they want the repair doing, you end up not cleaning it or anything. And so then the customer feels like they're shortchanged because they haven't got what they wanted. So you need to get like procedure lists and stuff like that. So when you are doing repairs, you do the same thing. For example, like Nicole says about the training and so forth, you have a procedure list you go through when you're training someone and so forth. And it's the same when you're doing repairs and pretty much anything, even a cleaning routine. Have a procedure list so you can go down it and basically say, yes, I've cleaned the floor. Yes, I've cleaned the counter. Yes, I've cleaned all the laptops and PCs so they don't look like they've got dust on and they've been there for 6 years. Make everything look right and be consistent about it. And it's one of the biggest things I'll ever mention is consistency. And I always say consistency is key because that's how I've built my business, is basically constantly make everything the same. But obviously, you need to look forward as well, so make things better as well, obviously, as time goes by. And another thing you were mentioning was regarding yourself. Let me ask you a question, all three of you. Last time you had an electrician out, do you remember what their logo looked like?
I do.
Probably not.
No, I don't.
You're struggling. Do you remember what they looked like?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the logo I do, not them.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
You remember what there's more chance you're going to recognize the person than the logo. We see logos all day long, unless it's something like big like Apple, Curry's PC World, whatever you want to call them, Nike or whatever. You're going to recognize the logos. But when you're a small business, generally people don't remember your logos. It's always nice to have them, but the main thing people remember is this thing here. Whether it's good looking or not, they remember it. So make sure on your advertising, on your website and everything, you have this, because that's what people remember is you. And if they might not remember your name, may not remember your company's name, they're not remember your logo, but they'll remember the face. And when they remember the face, they'll remember the business usually.
I want to add to that.
Okay.
So my opinion on that is it depends on the size of your company and how far you want to go with it. Because I did that and it backfired on me. So years ago when I had 7 flea market spaces, basically they're like stores inside of flea markets. And when I started the company, I actually named it after myself, and I really wanted just everybody to know me, and it was just great. Well, as I started to expand, customers would only work with me. And so what now I teach people is do not put yourself forward, because what happens is unless you don't want to grow, if you are just the local guy and you want to dominate your local area and that's just what you want to do for the rest of your life, that's fine. Like, that's okay. That's a goal, right? But if you're like, I want to have 5 or 6 locations, I want them to be in different places, I want to grow this brand, you need to really decide. And you can decide later. It's just hard to transition, which is what I did. I went through that transition. So I had to back away. And even now it's still really hard. But you have to kind of decide, am I going really far with this? And how do I want it? If you're local, your face is going to be so amazing because you're local. But if you want to grow and have people show up that are working for you and those people aren't looking for you, then it's like a balancing act to me, you know?
Yeah, good, definitely good points there. Obviously, when you see an advert on TV of some good-looking model showing off I don't know, a new laptop at PC World, you don't always expect to see them in there. But yeah, it is one of those things. Is obviously then if you want to back away from the business and let other people run it and stuff, then everyone's going to be expecting to see you every time. So that could be a little bit of a pain. So yeah, so it depends on your point of view. Most of the people I think here are independents, but obviously if you are growing, looking at opening multiple stores, that could be a problem. But I still think having a slight personal touch on your website or somewhere like that's always nice, so people can see, even if it's a picture of your staff or yourself or a team photo, it's always good, so you don't look like some robot or something like that. They know the sort of people they're going to be approaching when they actually come in the store. But yeah, definitely good points there, Nicole.
You both make very good points, but I also, the egos have to be there as well. Like, it's nice getting yourself out there, getting known. So, while I agree with you both, I think my ego agrees with me more. So that's like, unfortunate. But that's it. Yeah. Sometimes I'm generally wondering at this stage, am I advertising for my business? Am I just throwing it out there?
It is fun to be known.
But I tell you, we're coming close to time. I will give you one last argument there between the four of us for the hell of it. My argument is about, you were saying, logos. I'll see your logo and I'll raise you your company car or your van or whatever you have out there. I got a new vehicle. It's just white and it's just got its logo on it. That's nothing else. I don't have a website. The way I look at it, if you can't work out what Crosshaven Computers is, if you can't figure out where there's a website behind that, really, maybe we don't want to meet anyway, And second of all, a telephone number. Who the hell? When's the last time you stopped? I'm like, oh, there's the van with the telephone number. Take down that telephone number. Like, it's just ain't happening. You want clean, simple machines. Like, that's it. That's my thing. But maybe he needs, I don't know, Batmobiles or something. I don't know, Peter. What's your vans like?
We've got them coloured, so they're the company colours, same as our uniform colours. Company name. We do have the website and phone number on there.
Yeah, well, that's a bit flippant, but you know what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people probably only phone you if you're driving badly, no?
Yes, that's probably why you shouldn't have it on there,
Yeah, I must admit, it was a similar thing with us. We used to get a lot of calls when I was out driving and stuff like that, or when I'd pull up outside people's out there. I think the first couple of vehicles I had were Mondeos. I think they call them the Fusion or something in the States or whatever it is, the Fords. And everyone just thought I was a taxi. Because I had the information on the side of the doors where the taxi was. I'd pull out someone's house and someone would try and get in the other door. It's like, can you take me to the shops or whatever? I was like, all right, okay. But another thing to just anyone bear in mind, if you are thinking of getting signage put on your car, or you have already, even if it's a commercial vehicle, make sure your insurance company knows, because a lot of the time that will increase your premium because you're advertising you've got equipment in your vehicle, even if you have or not. So make sure you have got your insurance covering that. Did you have something to say about that, Peter?
Well, insurance.
No, I saw
vehicle
you
graphics.
Yeah.
I think computers is the biggest part, the biggest readable word on our vans. They're quite distinctive. We had like a teal sort of Bipper vans, although we've now got a sort of Transit Connect that's blue, the same sort of blue as the front of our shop, and everything matches. So they're quite well known in the area. People say, "Oh, I've seen your van out, saw one of your engineers out." So they're quite recognisable locally. Yeah.
Oh, another thing to mention as well, if you have got your details all over the vehicle, like, for example, ScanStation Computers, don't go doing 100 mile an hour down the motorway, because everyone will know who you are.
You know something?
Not again.
That was a brilliant tip. That was an absolute brilliant tip you just said there. In future, when Tim is going to site or something or whatever, Tim's not going to, or our engineer is going to site. Thank you for that there. This podcast was worth it for that one alone. Thanks. Everyone has just been elevated to engineers in my company now. They're all engineers.
You just remember, as you are your face of your company, even your staff. So
I'm head engineer.
Doing anything in your vehicle, if it's driving crazy, beeping your horn at everyone, sticking your fingers out of the window, even if it's going in the supermarket and swearing at the cashier or whatever, is everyone's going to remember who you are. So you have to be on good behaviour at all time. because people will remember it, and it don't take long for this day and age someone to get the mobile phone out and take a picture of you while you got your fingers up at someone, and then it's all over the local press and so forth. So, and that's the last thing you need. And I must admit, I've seen that a few times. Right, okay, so anyone else got any more comments to add? Let's quickly go for a chat. If anyone in chat has got anything else I'd like to add, please do. Otherwise, we've just got a few comments from Alison. So, call me for Mayor of Crosshaven. So, looks like you've got a future job there. Cormac, if you decide you want to move into politics, it's probably even worse than doing technology, I'd say politics personally, but that's still totally up to you. Richard's saying Cormac has awesome ads. Are you okay if I share your page just for a second, Cormac?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you knew that was coming, didn't you? You knew that was coming. Let's get it up.
Oh, jeez, I think my first ad is. I think my first one this time. I think is. I done a book cover. Can you see that one?
Let me just get it up. Window
I done a book cover there. It was. The book cover was. I was on holidays in Ireland, and it's so expensive. Oh no, that's my private page.
Yeah, that's the wrong one.
Yeah, I try to stay away from that one. You get arrested. Which just all the chickens really on that one. That's not me either. This is scroll down a bit there. Go down to the next one. The one over that. Forget that. Go down to the next one there.
I like that.
No, never mind that. This one here.
There we go.
There. This is one. I went on holidays in Ireland, and everyone's saying Ireland's gone crazily expensive. If you look at the figures there, that got seen, Phil. I mean, thousands of times. Yeah, but I just put up to the fact that Ireland's fairly expensive to fucking go on holidays at, and again, what does that have to do with computer repair? Absolutely nothing. But I tell you what, people will remember the name Crosshaven Computers.
That's sure.
As well, if you want
stuff like that. I think that was when you were at your sister's art show.
I love it. That's great.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Look, the lives. There we go.
No, that's a kind of TikTok. That might be. There's kind of a tune to that one. We're getting started.
Look at where you came from. Look at you now. Zuckerberg and Gates and Buffett. Amateurs can fucking plus.
There we go. Right.
That's great. I love it.
Taken down for that one. It's spelled, yeah.
Oh, you have actually got sort of an advertising one there. So there we go.
Advertising.
You does actually do some work now and again.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh yeah, we won Wimbledon at that time. Don't ask. Like, yeah, that was a Cristiano Ronaldo one. Yeah, this is kind of embarrassing.
You've got quite a few bits and bobs on there.
Oh yeah, that was Bernie Sanders and the guy from Friends. Don't ask. There was a meme about that. All right, just yeah. But. All right, that's
okay. I think I'm going to stop.
We'll leave that one go. All right,
Great.
Yeah. Trust me, Nicole, I'm a professional. Peter, I'm a professional. But it's all right.
I love it.
You're a crazy professional. That's one way of putting it. So people remember it. So. Right. Does anyone else have anything else they want to add, Peter, Nicole, before we call it a night for tonight? No, nothing. Okay, so right then, guys. So I think best thing to remember from this show is basically make everything consistent, stand out from everyone else, and well, just keep doing what you're doing, but do it good is probably the best way to put it. We do have a show next week, and for some reason I haven't put it on my show notes, so I can't remember what it is, but it would be interesting if I actually knew, so just give me 1 second and I'll get it up. So next week's show is Customer Service 101, so we will actually
give Chris a shout out there. We haven't read out any of his comments.
We missed his comments. Oh, it was probably because we put your page up. So Chris, let's have a look. Oh, well, yeah, here we go. So I can see it now. Oh, he's put an essay. Here we go. I find it all about what value you give to your products and services. Remember, if you're buying from Amazon, there is no interaction with humans. When we buy from us, we can take time to understand needs and build for what their needs are exactly. So so basically you haven't got that human touch. So I totally agree with you there. Let's have a look here. Did he say anything else? And he also says ISO 9001 is a great way of making sure this happens. I can't remember what that was in
That's
relation
regarding
to.
the consistency you were talking about and having standards
that
and
probably was.
procedures.
Yeah. So that's a good
Spot
point there, Chris. And yes, we did see your comments, or we did now anyway. So, but yeah, next week's show, 8 o'clock, which is Thursday, same time as usual. So it's Customer Service 101. So make sure you tune in. And if you're interested on being on the show, let us know. I do have 1 or 2 people already booked in to be on that show. But if you are interested, let us know. At the moment, actually, we are full of guests on that show. We've got myself, we've got Timothy, Ian and William. So that's next week, Thursday at 8 o'clock. So there we go. So again, thanks for watching, everyone. And if you are interested in learning more about Tech for Text, just go to techfortext.co.uk. If you're interested in joining the Facebook group or the community with 1,250 plus members, just go to techfortext.co.uk/join, and I'll stick that on the screen for you there. Also, you can go for the Tech for Text website as well if you're interested in joining up at the Tech Max event next year in June. Join over 500 attendees just like you. We're going to have an evening meal with 180 evening guests, and we're also going to have around about 50 vendors, distributors around in the day with stalls, stands, as well as a few talks and a few surprise guests, which we can't say anything about at the moment because we've got NDAs and all this, that, and the other. But trust me, there's plenty of names what we'll be dropping over the next few months. So again, thank you everyone for watching, and yes, thanks, Chris. We managed to get both of your comments there. So good night, everyone.